What's good, YouTube? Easy now 1337 aka Snow here today with Black Ops 2 Emblem tutorial. You guys know and love me for these Emblem tutorials, and I decided one day just to make a couple of new emblems, this being one of them, the Evil Geniuses logo. Now Evil Geniuses is a pro team for many different games across the board, but I take my inspiration from the Call of Duty team, who I watch, as well as Optic Gaming, probably my two favourite teams. So this emblem for me though is badass, so I decided to make it. It looks pretty cool, as you can see. The one you're seeing on screen is my final version, which took me hours of deliberation and editing. The one I'm building now is going to be a quick job, just showing you where the basic item should be. Make sure you go crazy with it after post editing, change little things, change the opacity and such things to what you want the emblem to be. But I'm just showing you the basic guide on how and where to put the actual logo. So let's get into it. So first you want to jump up, actually first we want to grab a white circle or anything, to be honest, and just make it big so it covers the screen. And then let's go all the way up to the top. Well, not all the way up, pretty much halfway. Grab a ring, which is in this section. Make it black, stretch it out. Doesn't really matter if it goes over the lines, that's just one we're using for just something, you know what I mean. Duplicate that layer by pressing select or back on it, moving up or down. We're going to go down, I believe. Paste it and just make it smaller. So now we are in this section, this point. We're here, we're doing this. So I'm just going to change the color of one of the actual rings so you can see what I'm doing with it. You're going to eventually turn it to black, but what we're going to do is click into it, skew it by pressing the right stick in, and then moving it up and to the left, and then also rotating with the L2 button, or the left shoulder button I should say. So then we're going to have like an overly shape, like so, about here. Now we can change that to black now, which is what I'm going to do, but you can keep it grey for as long as you need it to. So what we're going to do then is duplicate that same layer, go down a layer, paste it, and we're going to change it to any form of grey. Actually no, we're not going to do the grey one yet, we're going to do the inside layer. So change it to black again, and this is why I needed this layer to be grey, so let's change it to grey. So then we take this black layer and we're going to make a thick black outline circle, and we're going to move it up and to the right just a little bit. Bring that down, so then we're going to duplicate that layer we just moved down up, so we've got one above it which we are going to turn white. And then we're going to stretch it out, so now you can see we've got the white circle on the outside, which is the outside of the EG layer, and then the black circle on the inside is the outline of the EG actual letter symbols. But what we're going to do here is with this white ring, we're going to move it down and to the left, so that in the top right and to the right hand side of the emblem you have a smaller black outline than the rest of the emblem. And then we're going to match this one up with it, so we're going to move this grey one down and to the left to somewhere about there, and now we're going to change it to black, and we're going to move these two black rings up a couple of layers, and we are going to duplicate that white one above, change it to a grey colour or any colour you want, and we're going to turn the opacity down. This is just to add a little bit of 3D onto it by changing the size of it. So we're going to skew it out, so we've got a little half moon, and let me just show you that a bit darker. Actually we're going to leave it at that. So we've got a little half moon there. It's not a big deal, it's just a little bit of detail just to make it look kind of 3D-ish. So now we are in that section, so let's go all the way back down a couple of layers, and we're going to find the monolith, which will be the line going across the EG. Change it to black, make it smaller, rotate it with the left shoulder button, and we're going to skew up and to the left. And the reason why we use this monolith and not a normal rectangle is that the bottom half of it is slightly wider than the top half, and that's very important in the angle of this emblem we are trying to go. Now this is the part where you're probably going to have to open a reference picture, which is what I am doing now, so that we can see exactly what angle this line should be at, because it's not something I can remember off the top of my head. So once you got it in place, just use the left and right shoulder buttons to change the direction, and it's going to be more along that line there, I believe, But open a reference picture, make sure it's perfect to what you see in the picture, because I'm just going off my previous emblem instead of an actual EG logo. Grab a half circle, make it black, make it smaller, rotate it with the right shoulder button. I'm going to use the left stick just up and to the left a little bit, just to flatten the actual semicircle down, and then we're going to shrink it to be a little bit smaller, and we're going to place this near the top about here. We're going to duplicate that one, turn it around all the way with the right shoulder button, stretch it out to be a little bit bigger than the one at the top, just to give it that 3D-ish look. I'm just going to change that one a little bit. So with that one I just made it a little bit bigger and skewed up and to the left again. I'm actually going to move them over just a little bit, like so. Oh, that was a bit... Right, there we go, about there. So then we're going to need any rectangle. I just use the second lieutenant because it's easiest to get to. Make that smaller, stretch it out, skew it up and to the left to make it thinner but longer. Try to keep it to the same sort of thickness as the actual monolith down the middle. I'm just going to make that a bit smaller actually. And it's all about just perspective. You need to look at the actual logo you're making as a reference picture and just mess around with it till you find something that you think is similar. I'm actually just going to change that a little bit. I'm going to put it about there, and then I'm going to change these circles a little bit, semicircles. There we go, I like the look of that. Again, just use your reference picture, mess around with it till you get something you like. So now we're in this actual section, but what I'm going to do first is this inside black circle, I'm actually just going to make it just a little bit thicker by making it smaller by going up and to the left, and I'm going to do the same with the white one as well. So there we go, that looks pretty cool. So now we just need the highlighting, which is actually pretty easy to do. So below the two black ring layers, I left this one empty because we're going to go in and grab a half pipe. Now this half pipe, when stretched out, makes everything all faded and blurred. I'm just literally going to change it to this blue here, I believe. No, this one. And I'm going to click into it, click my right stick, and go down and to the right. Now you're going to see that that curve bit becomes very harsh in the middle. And that's because when you stretch it out, that curve, when you stretch it out without changing the size, you're going to see that that curve starts to uncurve itself and just go into a straight line. And that's not what we want. We want it to be a little bit curvy. So you're going to place that in the top right hand corner anywhere you want, and then turn the opacity down just a little bit. Because it's so bright, you don't need to go too crazy with it. I'm going to go down to 70, I think. And then we're going to do the same again, but above the two black lines. So go in and grab a half pipe, half column I should say. Change the colour again to the same blue colour, or a lighter one if you please. Skew it down and to the right, and then stretch it out as far as you can using the fixed scale. And then we're going to go to about here, and then we're going to turn the opacity down on that. I'm going to go pretty deep on this one now to about 55%. Now what this does, actually I'm going to go 50%. Now what this does is it gives a blue highlight on the bottom left hand corner, but it also gives a blue highlight on the outside of the emblem. But we're not finished there. We're going to duplicate that layer, go up and paste it above, and then we're going to change the colour of that one to black. And then we're going to move that one down and to the left. So we've still got some blue highlight across the middle, but the bottom left hand side is progressively getting darker if you keep duplicating the layers. I'm actually just going to turn the opacity up on that a bit more so you can see what I mean. And there we go. That's pretty cool, I think. So let me just turn the opacity on the black ones up a little bit, just to give that nice little 3D-ish look. So you know, that's the EG emblem I made. Again, use a reference picture, edit it for longer than what I've recorded it for now. I'm just trying to get it into a condensed time slot for you guys to copy. Take it, edit it however you want, use it, and if you enjoy it, please drop a like on this video. Add me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, links in the video description. You can also leave comments on both of those Twitters and Facebooks on emblems you might want to see, and I may actually make them. So yeah, that's me done anyway. Peace out, take care.